Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, where we talk about the biggest issues impacting millennial money, from student loan debt to side hustles to building wealth. We will show you how to get out of debt so that you can build real wealth for the future.
Hey there, welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. So glad you're here today. Now, you may have heard of tuition-free colleges. Today, we talk about them and what you should know about these tuition-free colleges. Okay, so the promise of free tuition, that's going to be a strong draw for college-capable low-income students. But many free tuition programs come with caveats, as you can imagine, that cause them to fall a little bit short of the promise, to say the least. First, here are the limitations on free tuition programs, so you can be in the know. Although free tuition programs do make college more affordable, there are several limitations that families should be aware of. Free tuition does not mean free college, okay? Most free tuition programs cover the cost of tuition and fees, but not room and board, books, supplies, or other college costs. Some do not cover fees either, which can be pretty significant at some colleges. At a community college, for instance, the textbooks can be a significant portion of college costs. A lot of free tuition programs are last dollar, meaning that all other sources of financial aid must be applied to tuition first before the free tuition program covers the remaining tuition costs. This may prevent a student from using the federal Pell Grant and state grants to cover living expenses and other college costs. The student may need to be a resident of a particular city or state, so keep that in mind. You might need to have attended and graduated from particular public schools in that city. And you also have to agree to continuing living in the city for a number of years after college graduation. I know, seems unreasonable, but that's the price you have to pay, I guess. Some free tuition programs also require the student to enroll in college immediately after graduation from high school, and a lot of them actually require the students to enroll in college full-time. The student may also be required to reside on campus. There are even some free tuition programs that are limited to students with demonstrated financial need or to Pell Grant recipients, and some require all students to work a part-time job on campus. Others actually require the student to participate in community service during the academic year and summer. And some free tuition programs require the student to maintain at least a minimum GPA, such as a 2.0, 2.5, or even a 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. Certain education tax benefits, such as the American Opportunity Tax Credit, AOTC, Lifetime Learning Tax Credit, LLTC, and tax-free scholarships, are based on amounts spent on tuition, fees, and course materials, such as textbooks, supplies, and equipment. And if tuition is paid for by a free tuition program, it may reduce or eliminate eligibility for these tax breaks. Very interesting. So then you break it down into which colleges actually have these free tuition programs. There are a few federally recognized work colleges that require all students who live on campus to work as part of the college learning experience, regardless of financial need. There are 6 of those on that list. I'm not going to list all of the colleges. That would be kind of boring in a podcast, but you can see them listed out with links to all of them at thecollegeinvestor.com. Just copy and paste the title of this podcast right inside the search bar. You'll be taken right to it, and you can see all of these schools in detail. There's a list of colleges, several of them, that aren't federally recognized work colleges, but where students are required to work and receive free tuition. It's pretty cool. Deep Springs College actually provides free room and board in addition to free tuition. Again, that's Deep Springs College. I just wanted to mention that because that's a pretty cool perk. There are lots of trade schools that provide free tuition as well, and the U.S. military academies provide free tuition, room, and board. Students, though, are required to serve in the U.S. Armed Forces after graduation. In addition to these colleges, there are dozens of colleges with no loans financial aid policies that provide free tuition to low-income students. These even include Ivy League institutions, MIT and Stanford. So I want to kind of spotlight one school in particular, Cooper Union for the Advancement of Science and Art. That's in New York. They used to provide free tuition for like over 100 years, but then they had to start charging tuition in 2012 because of, well, financial challenges. The college is raising money, though, to enable a return to free tuition in the future. So several medical schools provide free tuition to all students, regardless of financial aid. These include Cleveland Clinic, Kaiser Permanente, and New York University. There are other medical schools that provide free tuition based on financial need, like Columbia or Cornell. There are some community colleges that don't even charge tuition, which is pretty cool. California College Promise Program provides free tuition at community colleges in the state. Students whose family income is less than about 150% of the poverty line are eligible for the tuition and fee waiver. There are several states that offer this College Promise Program that cover tuition at an in-state public college for students who graduate from a public high school. You can see a list of those colleges as well at thecollegeinvestor.com. All right, so now let's get out of the states for a second and talk about which foreign colleges actually offers free tuition. 24 countries provide free public college tuition for their citizens. A few even provide free tuition to international students. Brazil, classes are actually taught in Portuguese. The Czech Republic, Finland, Germany, Greece, classes are taught in Greek. Iceland, Luxembourg, Norway, and Panama. Those are the countries that offer free tuition to international students, including U.S. students. Of course, as I mentioned, some of them do teach the classes in their native local language, not English. So you might be a little bit lost if you're in Greece. Well, you get free tuition. Just don't understand what you're saying, but anyway, free. Free tuition, although, does not cover or include living expenses. In some of these countries, like Norway, living expenses are really high. U.S. federal student aid can be used at about 400 foreign universities to pay for housing, meals, and other college costs, but the funding is limited to federal student loans, not grants. 529 savings plans can be used to pay for living expenses at these colleges, but not transportation. Other countries like France, Slovenia, and Sweden are open to European Union citizens, but not U.S. citizens. There are a dozen colleges or so that provide free tuition only to their own citizens. So, sorry. If you want to find a list of all of this, see links and everything you need to know about free tuition programs, check it out at thecollegeinvestor.com. Once again, just copy and paste the title of the podcast right into the search bar and you'll find the article. Well, I hope this was helpful today. Maybe provided some clarity on whether or not you can qualify or what colleges and things can actually offer free tuition. There are quite a few options out there for you. Just dig in a little bit deeper. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll talk to you again real soon.